I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, the lockdown, the pandemic, COVID. It was a time that was tough on people across the world. It was a time when people could reflect, though, and a time when people could think and write. One of them is Aurangzeb Zainulabdin, who has written an outstanding book of poetry called Without Me. We'd like to thank the folks at Sweet Spire Literature Management for helping put Aurangzeb in the spotlight today. And we'd like to thank him for being a guest on our show as well. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me, Logan.
Your first poem is wonderful. It's the title of your book, Without Me. Tell me a little bit about that poem.
Yes, that book, that poem was very special to me because since it was the first one and also the title poem. So, as an author, I would always wanted to have it as a special one. And, it's called Without Me. The Without Me actually is signifies the importance of a person that, we are living in a world where we need to actually, help each other and would want to give, good advice to each other. And, during the COVID time, as you know, that unfortunately many people were losing their jobs, and, there was a scenario where there was a complete chaos at one time. So, keeping that thing in mind, I wrote this book so that people would get motivated and they don't get bogged down due to the situations due to which occurred in the COVID. And that was one of the reasons that without me, actually, I wrote this book Without Me. Is just to motivate and change the perspective of the people so that they can help each other and they can motivate themselves to get out of the situation and believe in the power of sharing.
Absolutely. And everybody was without someone during the lockdown. It was a tough time. Some people were completely alone. Tell me what your lockdown experience was like and where you were at the time and what the lockdown was like. Was it complete confinement? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, it was confinement on one end. Professionally, since I've been related with with project management, so I was moreover busy with my projects. So actually, we were moreover working from home. But the thing is this, that it has also given us opportunity to have flexible hours,
Mm.
and we could, it was not just that it was not only the bad picture. There were also some benefits that actually came with that, because people start doing the work from home, and they had these flexi hours where they could also manage their, home activities as well. So the thing is this, that during that time, I utilized my time in writing the book as well, and it really helped me a lot to actually come up with this idea. And also, I wanted to share it with my readers as well.
Absolutely. And part of it is you want people to help bring about change within. Tell me a little bit about that goal and that mission.
Exactly, you can bring about a change in the society when you actually start changing yourself. You have to compel yourself. You first have to motivate yourself. That's the first step to bring about a change. That first you feel the change within, and then you can actually bring within the society, and you can start helping other people as well. Once, but the important thing is first you have to motivate yourself, and that's where Without Me is very effective. Because the idea that I have stressed upon is actually to motivate yourself and then bring about the change in the society so that you can actually contribute towards the positive change within the society. And by doing that, you can also help other people to actually share your idea and come up with their ideas as well. So it's like, in your personal capacity, whatever you can do, you should come forward and do it.
Absolutely. You mentioned in your writing that change only comes when something touches your heart. So it has to be felt with the heart more than understood by the mind. Tell me a little bit about your feelings there.
Yeah, exactly. Because there were so many scenarios that were, you can say pop up in, during the COVID scenario. Because as I've said, that many people were losing their jobs, many people have lost their loved ones, and I on my other side, actually, I was coming up with different ideas that, what's the best we can do for the people, and, how to get them motivated. So actually, that's how I came up with this idea of without me, that it's better to give each concept on each page of the book, so that, people may start, first of all, motivating themselves, and then they start believing in the power of sharing, and then they also start helping other people as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have quite a few poems within the book. Obviously, Without Me, the title poem, is one of your favorites. Tell me about some of the other poems that after you created it, you said, yeah, I really like this.
Yeah, one of the poems I really like is "Let's Make This World a Better Place." That's also, one of the, you can say, one of the good ones. I must say that, because it also gives a very strong message that, we have to shape up the world in a way that, for our future generations, and also for our colleagues, and, for our families, and for everyone, living in our society, so that, it becomes a happy place for everyone. And, we start contributing by doing that. We have to do everything in our area of influence to bring a positive change. And that's where this poem is also very important, because it shares the same idea, that how we can bring about the positive impact in the society, and in this, eventually, in this world.
It's amazing how when you're isolated from others, you suddenly realize how important other people are and society as a whole is. So I guess that's what started you reflecting upon all this.
Actually, when you face the challenges, that's where you have to come up with the solution and with the ideas.
Mm.
That's why I said that, on one end, where COVID has created a havoc in the society, it has also, emphasized or pushed authors like me to come up with the idea to actually, motivate people that, that they should fight rather than, getting afraid from this scenario. Because fear was creeping in as I was, experiencing. I was discussing a lot with the people around me, and we were actually sharing a lot of ideas as well. So there was a lot of broadcasting going, and I was pretty much in a dialogue with, or in conversation with, a lot of people around me. And that's where I was getting all the inputs and ideas, because I knew that what they were going through and how they were feeling, and that was really a challenge. So
Mm.
I really thought to actually write something so that people can actually start motivating themselves, that they can come out of this scenario, and yes, they can also start helping other people as well.
Absolutely. Why did you decide to write a book of poetry versus perhaps a non-fiction book or a novel or a self-improvement book, something like that?
Actually, this is a very good question, because initially I wanted to write the book. I chose poetry because this genre gives you a lot of flexibility, in a way that you can write on a lot of concepts. So if you read Without Me, so Without Me actually has a very strong narrative pertaining to the change management as well, and it also reflects, quite a lot on diverse concepts as well. It also explains the feeling of hearts as well. And that's why, in poetry you have this flexibility, rather than, if I would have gone for fiction as well, but the concept would have been would have been a unique it would have been a unique concept, but with a lot of pages. So I really
Mm.
wanted to make something that, because in poetry the only challenge I find is, you on each page you have to come up with a new concept, and that's what the beauty is all about, about the poetry. So that's why I chose poetry over fiction. And I would also, diversify in that field as well, since, I have also finished my second book, so probably the third book would be a fiction. So, I have not confined myself to poetry alone. So I love to write in different genre, and I would love to challenge myself, and also would want to, explore myself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Was this your first time writing poetry?
No,
Oh,
I have been writing for quite a while, but the thing is this, that, the most effective ones I have wrote in forward, and I just compiled all my work and shape up in a form of a book and published it.
Wonderful. Well, we're glad you did. It's a wonderful book, and it is very touching indeed. Tell me a little bit about your lockdown experience. How long were you locked down? Did you have family with you? What was that like?
Yes, since my family was living in another city that is away from, let's say, 150 kilometers away from here. I was living alone in a city of Karachi, and I was working, going to my workplace and performing my duties. However, I was taking care of all the precautionary measures, and I was having a moment where I was actually thinking a lot. I was moreover, discussing with other people's what they are going through. Most of the people, unfortunately, lost their loved ones, and they were giving me a lot of feedback. What they were going through. So it was moreover, motivating myself as well as motivating the other people as well to actually come out of this phase, and they should replicate it, this feeling by actually, sharing it with other people as well. So, motivated people can bring about a change. That's the first thing about the book. And I think that, people all around are loving this book, and I'm quite happy about it.
Yeah, what I like about the book is the fact that you can basically read a poem each day and it becomes like a meditation or a devotional for that day.
Exactly. As I've said, not only that, this is the one concept that the book is covering, whereas the book is quite diversified as well. On the other hand, because the book also, talks about the feelings of art. So there is a lot of, you can say, concept behind the book, which will actually, indulge the readers into different concepts, and will actually give them, something fresh to read.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like you said, each poem is a different concept. So it's something different to reflect upon each time. Now, you said you've written two other books. What's your second book about?
The second book is also, you can say, the second part of this book, that's called Life After Lockdown. And it's actually moreover, it's also a poetry book. And it also talks about, that how we can further, what we can do to come out of this COVID scenario, and how effectively we can actually shape up our lives, and what we can do for other people, to bring about a positive impact on the society.
Yeah. Well, that's very good. And what stage are you at with that book? Have you published it yet? Are you about to publish it?
No, I have recently completed it, and probably in 2023, I think it will be published.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And you mentioned the third book as well that you're working on.
Yes, exactly. But it's a fiction book, but I would not want to discuss right now. Probably the second book is something that I have completed. The third book is like a work in progress. So
Okay.
definitely, I would come
Under
once I finished it, and then I would reveal what is it about.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about when you wrote it. Did you have someone who would read it after you wrote it? Did you have a person who helped guide you a little bit like that, a friend or a loved one?
Yes, definitely. I have a lot of friends, who I share my work with, who are my very close friends, and they give me a lot of feedback. That whether are they getting compelled by my work, and what other input I can actually use their inputs to, further refine my work. So definitely, I discuss with a lot of friends, and also get their ideas as well. So it's a good thing to share your ideas, and also get their ideas as well, and come up with the best of the works that I can provide to, or share with others.
How long did it take you to write each poem, would you say?
Well, it depends, because you have to actually feel that scenario.
Hmm.
Once you are actually feeling it, and then you can come up with the words, and you can write the whole scenario or the whole concept on in few lines, because that's also one of the very challenging part of the book, to actually convey the whole concept within few lines. That's what the challenging part of the poetry is, and I really love it.
Do you have any influences? Is there a poet you admire or you like to read that has kind of helped you in formalizing a style?
Yeah. I actually, while writing without me, I was not reading any of the other book because I just wanted to delve into the concept, alone, so that my work is not influenced by any other work. That was the first thing in my mind. It should. I just wanted it to be fresh. I just wanted it to be, uh, you know, uh, my unique style, of writing. I just wanted to portray that, and through this book, I have tried my best to, share it with the people and with my readers as well. And then afterwards, I started reading a lot of books to just compare that, to read different style of, poetry, and I really loved it. I mean, but the thing is this, that that's has a lot of soul into it,
Absolutely.
without.
Yeah, you can definitely tell you poured your heart into this. Poems are very touching. They're very heartfelt. Was there a time of day when you'd like to write? Is it first thing in the morning? Is it in the evening? Tell me a little bit about your writing practice and your habits.
Yeah, actually, I moreover, since as a student of project management, I actually gave a lot of time to my job work, and after coming home, after having dinner, then I start writing it, because then I fully focus my mind towards my writing, and then the ideas start pouring into my mind, and I just start writing, something fresh, or you can say or new concepts, which I would want others to know, want others to feel, and that's how it all starts. And day in day out, I've been doing it, because I'm really enjoying writing.
Yeah, there's something that transports you when you get into the zone of writing. You really get into a different mind frame. You really just kind of enter a different world. That's what I find, and that's what I enjoy about writing. Do you have the similar type of experience that you kind of like transcend yourself when you're writing?
Yes, I would. I also share your opinion. It is like that, that you have to indulge into it. That's how I can put it. You have to indulge, and you have to feel what you are writing. Once you start doing that, then I think that you would be in a position to actually convey more effectively your concept, and people would also understand, because it's written from your heart, and it's like a communication that actually, if it touches others people's heart, then the change starts to come, you know
Were there certain poems you decided not to include? Did you write more than, what do you, about 20 poems in the book? That's what it looked like.
no, it's around 70 poems.
70. I
And
saw a large number. Yeah.
so
Oh,
the thing, that's why I said that the diverse concept of writing each concept on each page. Every poem has got a unique concept, so it's
mhm.
like a 70 concepts in the book. So that's what makes it quite diversified.
Wonderful. About how long did it take you to write all these poems?
It took me around 1 year to
Hmm.
write the complete book. Whereas, I have also started my second book with after I finished my first book. So it
Hmm.
also took me around 1 year.
Tell me, are you based in Pakistan?
Yes, I based in Pakistan,
Tell,
in
tell me
Karachi, Pakistan.
what tell me what life was like during the lockdown and COVID. The United States, we were locked down for about 3 or 4 months. We wore masks for about a year. Lots of fear in this country. Lots of people in the hospital. Everybody knew somebody who died, particularly in that first wave. Tell me what it was like in Pakistan.
It was also the same scenario, because everywhere around the world, the same things were happening, because it was like a catastrophe, everywhere, and people were losing their loved ones, because at that time the vaccine was not there in the market, so it was a total chaos at one time, I would say, and the best thing was to actually to take the precautions that were yeah, which the government was telling to the people, that you have to take certain precautions, and then you can go out to your workplace, or you can do work from home, and all these concepts, you have to be flexible enough to adapt to the situations what you are experiencing. So that's what we did over here as well. I think everywhere around the world people were taking all the precautions that were told to them, and that's what we did over here as well.
Yeah, it was kind of like the best of times and the worst of times. The worst of times, of course, was the sickness and the dying and the uncertainty and the fear and the income loss. I mean, there was a horrible negative sides to it. But the positive side was there was this change, there was this connection that you talk about in your book, where people became closer to their loved ones. They became appreciative of their jobs and their working habits changed. So there was a lot of monumental change during this pandemic.
Also, one more thing I have observed, that people developed reading habits as well, and that was also one of the positive impact that was created, because people were spending a lot of hours at home as well. As I said, that they were in a position to experience these flexi hours, and they were doing I must say they were multitasking a lot of things. And most of the people get to know that how is it to manage both home and office work, and that's how they became they start doing this multitasking. And so it was a learning experience all around, and I must say that these are the challenges that would come in life, and we should be always be ready to face such challenges and do something about it.
Do you have children?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I'm single. Yeah.
Okay, because children I found were profoundly impacted. I mean, they weren't able to go to school. They weren't in many cases able to get together with friends. So it was a tough time for young people in general.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. You were still able to go to work, though? You weren't locked down fully? You went to your job?
Yes, initially, but afterwards, when it starts spreading, with the second wave and third wave, then obviously we had to work from home. We had to take more precautions. As I said, that the vaccines actually arrived a little late as well. So the thing is this, that what we had done is actually, we have taken all the precautions that were informed through the governments were informing to its people. So we actually, comply with all the SOPs that were there. And we moreover started doing work from home, and that really worked as well. As I said, that people actually created a lot of habits. As I said, that they start reading, they start doing multitasking, and there were a lot of things that people start doing, working from home. And this concept now after COVID as well, a lot of people are practicing this concept of working from home, because as I was reading in some books that now these habits working at offices is also changing now, after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great for people who can work remotely. It's been a wonderful thing where they can have more personal time, where they don't have to commute. And so it's been a true game changer. Do you have your book handy by any chance?
Yes, I have.
Would you mind reading without me for our audience?
Yeah, sure. I think I can read this poem.
If you could read the first poem, I think it would really give the audience an idea of the beautiful works of poetry you've written.
Sure, I can do that.
That'd be great.
Yeah. It starts off with, I searched you in the desert and looked in the ocean, but I couldn't find you anywhere. Are you a soul with devotion? I wandered in the days and I wandered in the nights, just hoping to see you, but you are far from my sight. I closed my eyes and saw your glimpse in my dream. And when I opened my eyes, you were gone, as it seemed. Where would I find you? I just fell down and screamed. I heard your voice and felt you were standing beside me. And with a smile, you said that you have to live without me.
Wonderful. That's a very powerful poem. Very beautiful. And, for the people who lost someone during COVID, I'd imagine that really touches their heart. But even the people who were just separated during the pandemic, it really touches a person's heart. So you must be quite proud to have written those beautiful words.
Yeah, I am, because if the whole concept is that if it can bring a positive change in the society, I mean, uh, it would really give me a lot of motivation by doing that,
Mm.
because that gives me a sense of feeling that I have done something for the society, something positive for the society, and if other people start doing that as well, so it will become a cascaded change.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it is a beautiful poem, and all of the poems, 70 of them in the book, are wonderful as well. Now, in life, you don't work as a writer necessarily. I believe you work as an engineer, is it?
Yes, exactly. I work as an engineer in a energy utility company, and I do a lot of large scale projects, EPC projects.
Gotcha. And how long have you been doing that?
Well, it's been 12 years I've been doing that, and uh, I have got a lot of experience of construction of grid stations and transmission lines and all these things. Besides that,
Wonderful.
I also write books as well.
Absolutely. Well, we're glad you write those books. Have you been in touch with anybody who's read your poetry and has been touched by them?
Yes, I've been in touch with a lot of readers actually, because I also get the feedback from them, which I always cherish, and they simply love the book, the feedback that I have got so far, and because it's something very fresh, they haven't read it, previously or in other books, and it's quite diversified. That's what makes it, bit more distinct, or and the feedback that I have got from the people, I will definitely use it in my second book. So that's what really gives me, quite an inspiration as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it must be very rewarding to hear from people, to hear from readers who've appreciated your work and appreciated your work so much that they actually reached out to you. Now, tell people at home where they can purchase your book.
Yeah, the book can be purchased from the website of Book Trail agency.
Mhm.
However, it can also be purchased from Amazon.com, from Barnes and Nobles, and my website will also be coming soon by the name of Aurangzeb So definitely, it would also they can also purchase the book from there as well.
Absolutely. Well, it's a wonderful book. It is called Without Me. It was written and inspired and born from the heart of our writer today during a very tough time in the world, during the COVID-19 lockdown. But during this time, he was able to focus his mind, focus his heart on a series of poems that he hopes will help change each person and thereby change the world. The name of the book is called Without Me, and we are delighted to have the author of this book on our show today. Aurangzeb, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thanks for having me, Logan.
And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.